The sizzling sausage. Studs on cement. Sport in the crisp wintry air. When the drawbridge goes up, see the absolute state of it. You're with Pez and Higgos. It's the circus.
Oh, the footy season is up and running with your Vegas jaunts and your Thursday night blockbusters. Although a false start in the AFL due to Cyclone Alfred, which will mean we'll have to wait until Friday, a Friday night blockbuster between Hockball and Coxball at the SCG. Volandis is long jumping to hip-hop and Vegas Raiders horn blowers are destroying corporate bathrooms. It's the sound of winter, it's the sound of chaos, it's the sound of Ricky Ponting driving par fours in New Zealand. And for bikies, taking the crown at Millbrook, Stuart MacGill's back in Cork. George Bailey's head is on a pike after Australia's Champions Trophy exit. And the boys from the Kick It Forward podcast jump on the couch to tell us about filming with Harley Reid, Schooner Scorer and Mitch Marsh. There's also Boys Actually, one of the worst goalkeeper challenges in history, and everything in between from all over the globe. My name is Ian Higgins. Sam Perry is next to me. Pezza, welcome to the circus.
Hey, thanks.
We made it to week 2. They said it would never happen.
And thanks for the feedback on the Albo interview as well. The private feedback's been good.
Yeah,
obviously. Guys, really enjoyed that interview.
Really good.
Yeah, I thought it came across well.
The private stuff was good.
Public, less so. Public stuff is getting dunked on. A lot of are you guys trying to get Dutton elected because you're doing a great job? Fucking bang. But
you guys have sold out.
Sold out.
This show has no sponsors.
Yeah. Did we go to Albo's people and charge them for the interview? Is that
as sellouts?
On the taxpayer dime.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. No, good to get through the first week. Felt good. And, yeah, bumper show again. Obviously, the Kick It Forward boys elated to be following up Anthony Albanese, the 31st Prime Minister. But that's a good chat as well. We're nearly at all the games starting, Hugos, but there's still a little bit of rigmarole, a little bit of red tape.
A bit of weather
to get through. I felt that, and I think this should always be the case, we should start with the views of the punter. It is and that means Speakpipes. Fair few this week, and I've mixed them up. They're pretty much in chronological order, you know. So this is really this is the vibe of the nation. This is what the circus punters are thinking about the week that's been. Charlie, can you hit it?
Yeah, g'day lads. Piping in from northern suburbs of Brisbane here. We're about T-minus 18 to 24 hours from a fucking cyclone category 3 hitting us. Can't get toilet paper to wipe my ass or water to drink, and now the Lions aren't playing at home. So I'm just looking for something to be happy about. Give us help with.
Boys, actually, what you've got to understand about opening round is that it's about the AFL competing in Queensland with the NRL and obviously competing with Cyclones as well. Now, the CEO of the Bureau of Meteorology, Dr. Andrew Johnson, would say that the Cyclones get the better TV numbers, but Andrew Dillon would just have to point to the attendance at Brisbane Lions games and youth involvement at a grassroots level to say that the AFL is clearly defeating Cyclones in this battle.
Perfect voice.
What gets me hot and bothered is finally I can listen to two coats, absolute coats, talk about a sport that doesn't try and fuck me in the ass every second of every day of every week of every month of every year. Also, what the fuck is this shit?
Don't know what the big deal is with 21 Schooners. I thought he was pretty good on that Post Malone track. 21 schooners of beer on the wall, 21 schooners of beer. Anyway, boys, Dutton would drop a sitter, wouldn't he?
Fuck's sake, it's not hard. Just move the Cats Lions game to Marvel. Land of the roof.
Good point.
Roof stuff.
Zorko now, looking for options inside forward 50. Hipwood providing a lead. Zorko ignores. Decides to go long inside the forward pocket to Charlie Cameron, and it's been intercepted by a hot dog stand. Oh, that's unfortunate. The play's been broken up. And Zach Bailey looks to have copped one in the back of the head in that contest. We'll just have a look at the replay here, and... oh, yes, a rogue steel beam has collected him in the back of the head in that marking contest. And I dare say...
Boys, can we please start talking about suburban rugby in New South Wales?
Yeah.
Bit like grade cricket, mate. Grades, going up the divisions, different grades in divisions. I think that's where you guys can go.
Where's Soliti playing?
NRL, AFL shit. If you really want to talk sport, let's get into some subby rugby union. I'll keep you updated. Cheers.
What the fuck is the Champions Trophy and why didn't we win?
Yeah.
Boys, the missus just broke up with me. Cyclone Alfred is about to tear my house apart. It's going to have to be one hell of a pod to save me.
Jerome Loy, Lachlan Galvin. best halves pairing in the comp.
That's it.
Friends, as a North Melbourne supporter, with the Bont being out for round 1, I have an unhealthy sense of hope.
Well.
Fuck me. Pretty keen for this week's footy show.
Champions Trophy was shit last night.
Cancelling opening round? What? There's going to be a little bit of wind, a little bit of rain. Oh, we better not play. Seriously, boys, long sleeves, screw-in boots. Yes, maybe sit in the rooms for an extra 20 minutes. If it's raining heavy, let it blow over. But let's go.
West Coast 2006, Melbourne 2021. We're back on the bags and we're getting the flag this year, baby. I wish my dad loved me more growing up. Will I be nicer to my sons? Nah.
That's always the thing you have to understand with helmets and pads and CTE is it actually lends itself to a technique where the players lead with their heads.
Yes.
Also, Paul Kent, I remember my first 21 beers.
And that's it. That's the vibe. That's the mood of the nation.
Finger on the pulse.
Finger on the
that
pulse.
kind of stuff.
That's the pulse, yeah.
Quite an eclectic mix of thoughts there.
Well,
but let's start with Cyclone Alfred.
A little bit of humour.
or as some call it in Melbourne, Cyclone Alfred. That's a Melbourne accent thing.
A's and the E's, yeah.
Yeah, the A's and the E's.
Back and forth.
Okay, so
I work at the Alfred Hospital.
The Brisbane and Geelong game is very likely to be played in round 3 when both teams have a bye that week. So then the Gold Coast Essendon, that game's to be expected to be played later in the season, but it's unclear when.
Well done on Essendon there as well. Getting rid of the N. That's local. That's local parlance.
Well, it's in the family.
That's good. It's in the family.
Yeah. Or family to be.
Reservoir.
Yeah.
Get in there.
Yeah.
Yep. Just change it up. Apollo. Bay.
Those teams share a bye week as well, so maybe later in the season. Also, the Dolphins and Souths game has been moved to Combank, you were saying?
Yeah, this week though.
This week.
There's been.
So, then a bit of upset with players in the AFL. Lockie Neal has said, look, if they hadn't moved the game like the NRL did, I wouldn't be leaving.
As in to play, like you're not playing. I'm not playing in a cyclone, says Lockie Neal, controversially.
And then, there's players' wives that are upset as well on Instagram. So,
Cody Nicorima's wife.
Yeah.
Or partner. So I'm not sure of the marital status there. But
a couple of kids involved.
I don't want him to go while I'm at home unsupported during a Category 3 cyclone.
Yeah. My parents spent a bit of time in the
with Cody.
With Cody and his wife Bree. In Queensland, and they actually went through. They're only there for 4 years, I think, but they went through 3 cyclones. And when I say went through them, I mean they. Dad was on absolute. He was on a absolute tear at the time.
That particular verb on a sports show, it's just people just hang on a second.
Holy shit, Mr. Higgins.
They called him the Cyclone.
21 beers and him all of a sudden.
Everyone. Sorry.
I got given a gift actually for my 18th birthday, which was like this massive jug, and it was from my dad, and on it had when Higgins drinks, everyone drinks, and so I was given this or I found it, one of the two. It was either a gift or I found it or I stole it
on the road. Yeah.
And so I took that around to 18th house parties and
that's nice.
And thought I was cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, they survived. They lived through 3 cyclones when they were in. They spent their time in Queensland, and they're fucking scary. A cyclone. There you go. There's a bit of news.
Massive
bit of news coming in here on the circus. Cyclones are big.
I've just noticed in the lead up to this. I mean, so isn't it? It already is decided that's happening in round 3, isn't it? That like the AFL has postponed these games, and they have. They're going to round 3.
Yes.
I'd say like I'd be in the top 5, like 5th percentile of people who enjoy articles with the word looms in it. But I don't know if anything has loomed harder and longer than this cyclone when it comes to sports articles this week. So I'm glad that it's done because it has been fucking looming.
Yes.
As well as postponement announcements, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned that cyclones are quite scary. I noticed another top sportscaster, Jared Waitley, just not to be confused with Gerald Wheatley, as Michael Clark.
He's a separate guy.
Yeah. He's this morning he's castigated the NRL for lacking a shred of decency, quote, by forcing players to leave families during this Category 3 cyclone. Right? And of course, like, it is always important down here and in AFL, Aussie rules, homesteads, to pitch leagueies as, Neanderthal, brutish,
thuggish,
backward, thuggish, and correctly so, by the way, when Jared does that.
Right.
But what Jared and the Aussie rules need to understand is that Peter V'landys, who sort of orchestrates these things, he's a mover and a shaker.
Right.
He's quite entrepreneurial. He got the competition going during COVID. No one knows how he did it.
Yeah.
And this is just another example of V'landys just being able to puppeteer these things for commercial outcomes. And once again, when you add Vegas into this, that's 1-0 NRL ahead of some broadcast rights negotiations.
He was first onto the Johnson & Johnson vaccine.
Exactly. I'm surprised he didn't move to put a roof on the Gabba.
It's very simple.
Which would have helped the AFL, obviously. But
put a roof on Queensland.
I think, and this is the thing that V'landys understands, and people down here need to understand.
Yeah,
right. Is that
just tell them.
As with COVID, people need their football in times like this. Do you understand?
That's right.
They need their football.
Yep.
There might be destructive winds.
Sure.
There might be roof and structural damage to your house.
Okay.
But what V'landys understands is that if you've got your Dan Gananes, for example, calling the hammer or Herbie Farnworth from the Dolphins crossing the line against the Bunnies at Combank there out at Para, that is going to soothe the tension in the air.
That's as good as an umbrella.
Your roof might be being ripped off.
Right.
Okay? But at least there's some footy on. And that's something Andrew Dillon and the team at AFL headquarters there might want to pay some attention to. The other thing I just want to note is how many cyclone experts are we going to get in the next 24 to 48 hours?
Yeah, well, I've already added my tip.
You've kicked it off. They're scary. But we're going to get a couple.
Believe me.
I mean, we've got one through Boys Actually. I'm just going to go early on Boys Actually from James. He goes, Boys Actually, the strongest wind and rain occurs to the south of the cyclone as the wind travels clockwise.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's sort of taken as read that. That's why,
that's elementary level.
And that's why I'm calling for New South Welshmen and Victorians to start taping up their windows in support of Queenslanders.
Put out your tape.
Put out
your taped windows.
Put out your taped windows.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because obviously we hope everybody stays safe. That's a disclaimer, and that's the sort of stuff you read at the end of an ad, but it's true. We hope it's all good.
Yeah, look, I take the point of
good surf down Byron way.
I take the point of Dolphins family members who are saying it's not great that their partner's going to leave. That how important is the game of football? I believe was part of the Instagram story, and I mean Redcliffe is literally right in the water. I mean it's not inland at all. There'll be no softening of a cyclone, I'd imagine, if it does hit, and they're right in the path.
We're inland. It's actually it's not going to get us inland.
It should be fine.
It actually stays more sort of seabound. So
yeah,
that sort of, you think there's going to be that kind of chat?
Well, I think so.
I take Jared's point as well, but by the same token, Dan Kinnaid, the hammer. This is the ambiguity we live in in these times.
That's value. All right, do you want to talk about? Should we talk about quickly about Vegas? As it's only opportunity for the year until 12 more months until they head over next time. But look, I suppose the headline story is that the NFL star who blew the Raiders' horn found himself discharged from the stadium after some sort of disruption in the bathrooms in the corporate area. No one really knows what was possibly happening. He might have been using some wipe-on sex appeal on the horn, which can happen. It wouldn't be the first time.
Are there still vending machines of wipe-on sex appeal in bathrooms? Let us know. Boys, actually.
Yeah.
You think, definitely?
Oh, yeah.
You're just in that, mate, what a
The biggest
racket.
problem is finding coins to get.
Yeah, good point. I wonder if maybe it is tap and go.
Tap and go these days.
Wipe on sex appeal.
I forgot to shower for 3 weeks. Hang on a second. Pop to the loo. Pop to the bogs.
You've walked. What a brilliant product.
Yeah.
You walk into the bathrooms and it's like, I would like some sex appeal. For others, olfactory sensors. Bang.
I've just caught eyes here.
Yeah.
How can I lure her with my scent?
That's right. Early on in a developing kind of courtship or something, you know what, this needs to go to the next level. Some wipe on sex appeal.
I need to splash some methylated spirits on my neck.
That's why Tyler Manoa, the blower of the horn,
right?
The NFL star, got in trouble, obviously. So that was happening in the loo.
We don't know what happened, do we? It hasn't been specified.
It was, alleged misbehaviour in the corporate area.
Yeah.
Allegedly damaged property inside the restrooms. That could have been a wipe on sex appeal issue. Like it's just like a vending machine. I'm trying to get the product out.
It might have been one of those things where he's got the wipe on sex appeal, but it's just dangling.
Yeah.
It's just hasn't quite released from the sort of hook on the vending machine.
There were a lot of other things that come out of Vegas. I mean, obviously, Wigan wins, Raiders win, Gillaroos 90-4. Why'd they concede? Penrith. Okay. Cheers. But the real impact of Vegas, and it's a what you've got to understand about it, is that there are some money can't buy halo effect outcomes.
Right.
I am seeing stories here. This is Poroshenko saying that the NRL is going to consider a proposal to beam the grand final into the Vegas Sphere in October. So there you are in Vegas, October. It's grand final time. You can feel it in the air. Sin City. Head over to the Sphere and watch
now that would be
Matty Thompson and the team beaming the grand final in.
Yeah.
Yeah?
That would
and once
be
again,
sick.
rugby league just getting its tentacles into Las Vegas and the American broadcast market as a whole.
Oh, yeah. They'll be doing sketches on SNL soon about the rugby league. I've not been to Vegas ever, actually, but I would like to hear from people that anyone's seen a gig at the Sphere, because it looks unbelievable.
What would you pay to watch the NRL grand final at the Sphere?
Not much. Is
my
answer to that.
Babe. It's a big dance. Look, couple of other really excellent outcomes from Allegiant Stadium.
Okay.
Beer salesmen say it's their greatest night ever in beer sales. One said he sold more beer in 60 minutes of football than an entire Las Vegas Raiders game. So that's a win.
That's interesting. That also is because people they couldn't get a leave pass. So once they
which is what's gone a long way to explaining why almost the entire top tier was empty.
Right.
Because Landis put 4 games on and you couldn't get out.
Yes.
And people are like, might watch a couple of games and circuit.
I've just seen the Gillaroos whack on 100 against
what?
GB.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah.
Just go through England.
But there's a couple of downsides, obviously. Vlandis, entrepreneurial king, mover and shaker. He did invite through that hostage video President Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Trump was busy. Earlier on, he was in a meeting of world historic geopolitical significance with Vladimir Zelensky, and did not want to follow that up by heading over to the footy.
He was trying to find a suit for Zelensky. That's what they were trying to do.
Exactly.
But, but there's been a lot of talk about getting 5 things done in the week. Well, head to Vegas for the NRL. That would have been one of the 5 things,
Exactly. Couldn't get Trump there, but I did see that the NRL did have movers and shakers there anyway. Senior executives from most clubs were there.
Okay.
Bulldogs, Roosters, Manly, Paris, Souths and Newcastle. Our friend, New South Wales Rugby League boss Dave Trodden was there.
Yep.
And PNG bid CEO Andrew Hill came too. Now also, and this is huge, right? And it's another, driving another stake into the heart of these code wars, but former Collingwood president Eddie Maguire's son Joe, who plays college football for Ohio State, former Melbourne grammar boy as well, so right from the heartland.
That's really heartland stuff, yeah.
He also came along because he's a college football punter. And Sydney-born WWE wrestler Grayson Waller and some players from the LA Rams who watched the match from a suite were along there as well. So, if it's like shoot for the moon, even if you miss, you'll land among the stars, which is a quote. The stars are far harder to get to than the moon.
Way harder.
Nevertheless, the quote remains. So it's not all bad. Look, some more fallout. Obviously, I told you the game results, but it's more about the halo effect stuff. This is Dan Ganane again on having the Storm, the Melbourne Storm, the team down here, the rugby team down here.
Yeah, the rugby team.
He says that is a joke. We don't have Melbourne Storm here.
Yeah,
we'd own Victoria. The media down there, they'd get all the coverage. You'd break every ratings record if you put the Melbourne Storm on. You'd get that extra audience down there.
Look, it's a good team. That's a good team.
But I mean, they don't watch it already down here. What is it? What does it being in Vegas have to do?
Well, if Eddie Maguire's son's knocking about.
Oh, that's true. Joe.
I got a Melbourne grammar boy. I'm watching.
But yeah, so I mean, interesting. Do you think living down here? Do you think the Melbourne market, who are they're getting primed with their 30-1 top players in AFL and stuff like that? Do you think if it's like, well, actually the Storm the Storm's over in Vegas. Fucking, you reckon SEN and the team are just fucking downing tools on the footy?
I was just walking through alleyways and laneways all week, and I just could not escape, first of all, goat milk.
Yeah.
And also just conversation about what's happening in Las Vegas.
Yes.
Las Vegas.
So, look, of course the question is, it's first Vegas, where next? Right? So
the Stars.
Almost. This is Andrew Voss from SCN. I would love to go to Saudi Arabia. They would have no rugby league following, but I'd love to go over there. This is the halo effect of Vegas.
He's just naming places he wants to go.
The AFL's busy trying to apply a shred of human decency to families.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, rugby league is going, wait, we're playing at Para, we're in Vegas, and we're going to Saudi next. And I agree. They got some good PR. Just before the game, Roy Keane said that rugby league players are proper hard.
Really? Okay, well.
So
a tip of the cap from a footballer.
Once again, this is just saying, this is how it's getting a little bit international. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, there was probably about 35,000 people there, and people seemed to be a good circuit and a good it is a halo effect. It gives the NRL a bit of a jump start to the season.
Well, I saw our friend Laura McGoldrick, Kiwi extraordinaire broadcaster, and look, via Instagram, she was having a great time on the circuit. It just seemed, a bit of football in between, but mostly circuiting. And that's what Vegas is, really.
It has to be.
I mean, what caught my eye was Peter V'landys talking to Braith Nasser on the ground in Vegas there. And he said...
hey, if you like Aussie rules, it's coming, okay? Just chill.
Yeah, just look at the chapters. What about this hip-hop music, V'landys said. I only did long jump. What's this hip-hop stuff? Jeez, it's a bit loud. Fucking singer. Who's writing your stuff?
Someone's written that, and then he's got fucking loud. That's good.
The other thing that caught my eye, Pezza, a reuniting.
Yes.
Between Elle Macpherson and Andrew Eddinghausen, E.T.
Mate, that's S tier.
Fucking oath it is. Okay, so back in the 90s when Elle Macpherson was a world-famous supermodel.
Yeah.
And Andrew Eddinghausen was the heartthrob captain of the Cronulla Sharks. She was photographed handing him an award for his 200th game. It was a shot that electrified the country. Australia's most beautiful woman with footy's most handsome man.
Yeah.
I just remember thinking he was spunky, recalled McPherson.
Oh, my God.
And he still is. I mean, what about having...
Doesn't he have an enormous piece?
Yeah, I remember him doing a shirtless... bit of shirtless stuff in the 90s.
Yeah.
But, I mean, having someone called The Body, who we're so proud of, an Australian doing well in America, I mean, that's as bad as good as it gets.
I mean, as a nickname, does it get better?
Yeah. Who are you? I'm The Body.
Probably hand that over to females to comment on that, whether that is correct.
Sure.
But I can say out and out from a male perspective, I'm taking The Body almost over everything. I think the only thing that beats it is buckets. Because if you have big hands, ergo the body is doing what it needs to do, right?
Yeah. If you've got big hands and you're out of shape, that's wasted talent stuff.
It's only one thing you got to fix there. It's just a bit of cardio on that, but big, because you're gonna have natural muscle.
Yeah,
you're
sure.
naturally thick.
Yeah,
but yeah, the body and then ET. It was unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, again, if you're not rugby league native, look that up, and you'll put your Code War stuff aside. Just one more league things via our mates at Hello Sport, Tom and Eddie. They interviewed CEO Andrew Abdo.
Yes, they did.
Through the week.
Yes.
And a lot of news coming up. But Andrew Abdo on their show dropped that there's a new rugby league game.
Yeah.
Right? And again, we pay homage to ARL 96. I didn't really go past that.
Mm-hmm.
Preferred women myself. But
yes, Paul Vorton used to come up in a box in the corner.
And make regular comments to do with the penis. There was a lot of, he's caught one in the nurries and that kind of stuff.
Totally.
Yeah. But again, huge news via our mates at Hello Sport as well. So shout out to them. And again, helping with the campaign around Bring the Bears Back. Asking Abdo, he's just like, mate, people ask me every single day. It's another person. So don't know.
Yeah.
Let's wait for the election.
Anything else on the league?
No, I don't think anything else is going on. I mean, it kicks off, I guess. I mean, they've played 2 games, but there's other games. And
I guess it starts.
I'm not really into that kind of stuff, but yeah.
All right. Well, I suppose the AFL does start eventually on Friday night. It's going to be in Sydney. It's going to be Hawthorn against Sydney. Yeah, Hawthorn against Sydney at the SCG. That is an electrifying game. Swans have also got the Lions in round 1, which is confusing because you think the round 1 would be the first game of the season, but it's not.
Really.
Not really. It's
Not really.
fucking pretty obvious. GWS Collingwood, Sunday Arvo. There's something for the eyeballs there, Pezza. No Saturday games on free-to-air, though. All the Saturday games on Fox Footy this year.
We're just looking this up here because I just saw Wooey, our mate Andrew Woo.
Oh, has it been a rival bid?
No. Wooey's down at Collingwood training an hour ago. He says, Dan McStay looks fit, strong, sharp. Jordan De Goey training at high intensity. Darcy Cameron playing with confidence, authority. Brody Myercheck, Bo McCreary, and both in the white jumpers of the seconds and unavailable players for whole session. So just
Team
just
new
a
stuff.
shot there. Yeah, and just how they're looking.
Yeah, how they're looking.
As well. So
if blokes are training the house down, people need to know.
Absolutely. I mean, and I'd imagine that if you're tweeting that out to Collingwood fans, is that the equivalent of just saying, like, Coley's good? You know what I mean?
This is net stuff.
Yeah.
He played a cover drive. He hit the ball in the net pretty hard.
Yeah.
It might have gone to a fielder. He might have mistimed it.
But
It hit the net
Wooey's
hard.
down there. Collingwood's looking good. That's what I'm hearing.
Here's something that caught my eye, Pezza. This is from Peter Ryan by The Age. Administrative error.
And that's all the footy we're doing right now, yeah.
Local footy premiers breached the salary cap by $45,100, but say they didn't benefit from it. So I'll read you the first couple of paragraphs. The Keilor Football Club was undefeated in the season and an average winning margin of more than 50 points. The Essendon District Football League found the club had breached the rules in 2022 and 2023, although the league said the breaches were not dishonest or willful. The club exceeded its allowable player payment limit of $110,000 by $45,100 in 2023. It was found to be $605 above the limit in 2022. In a statement, Keilor Club President Sean Morris said, "We acknowledge the administrative error in timing of payments that led to this situation and breach, but defended the merit of the club's performance in 2023. He said the club was well under the salary cap for 2024. Mate, so they've paid $155,000 for a flag.
Well, I mean, boys, actually, if you're out there, as far as I understand, you know, that's
sort of par for the course.
Yeah, that's a small change for a lot of these clubs out there.
But if you're
like the one when they're $605 over in 2022, that's just someone accidentally using a corporate credit card at a brothel,
and that can happen.
And that can happen. But the $45,000 breach, that seems a bit more structural. But again, it can happen.
Although that has got out of hand
at brothels.
Yeah. That's a roast.
I mean, but yeah, I mean, it's funny, isn't it? Like it's kind of gross how much money is involved, but it must indicate the health of a sport when they're just you can just conjure that amount of money.
Yeah, and that can also just be missed.
To give it to a charity or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Daryl, we're 45K over.
That's all right.
Swept under the rug. Put it through the pokies.
Now, I would like to solicit very anonymously and privately the just the most egregious amounts of money involved at local level.
Now we're
in
talking.
Aussie rules.
Now we're talking.
Wherever you are, if you listen to this, just let us know, and don't even make it creative. It doesn't even have to be true. No, but seriously, I'd like it would be good to know.
Yeah.
Well, and that's footy.
The games start this weekend. We're excited for it.
Yeah.
Drawbridge goes up.
You like Hawthorn, don't you? You like it?
I do like Hawthorn this week, yeah. I think Swan's just trying to find their feet.
Very, very vulnerable to say something with a modicum of seriousness.
Yeah.
Very vulnerable.
Well,
and also tipping against your team as well. It's like, look, well, you got to understand.
Well,
from
there is a slight emotional hedge with that, but I also feel like Hawthorn, one of the favourites this year.
I get it. Swans win, great. Swans lose, got the tip.
Yeah, there is that. But I mean, like, you know, Hawthorn came home hot last year. Obviously lost the first half a dozen.
And Swans came home cold.
They came home very cold. But, you know, under the new regime of Cox, it could be fresh voice, fresh legs.
It could be a lot of things, yeah.
Or it could be wet in Sydney and they play at the SCG where they win a lot of games and the Swans just get it done.
Oh, man, all sorts of permutations.
Or it could be a tie.
Yep. Teams could play well, teams might not.
Overnight, Australia got knocked out of the Champions Trophy, Pezza, which is a tournament that's happening in Pakistan.
Cricket. Is it?
No, it's not. Not anymore. It's happening in Dubai. So Australia played Australia.
Tell me more about this.
Well, Australia A were playing against India last night, Pezza. Australia without the three-pronged attack of Stark, Cummins and Hazelwood.
Unfortunately succumbed to injury.
Yeah, it is unfortunate that has happened. But India have found themselves in a position where they've got to play all the games in one ground.
They found themselves in that position. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I saw on Cricket Info, they said, look, it's been a tangled schedule. Which is that was just a shout out to Max Walker. Tangles.
Yeah.
But
how do you dance around this without questioning the integrity of the tournament?
But you don't.
And saying it's an absolute farce and borderline disgrace what's happening. First thing you do is you don't put any of this on the TGC feed. That's the first thing you do. Yeah, there's that. Look,
IPL coverage coming up, by the way. But yeah.
So Australia managed to play one full game of cricket against England. Then they had two washouts against South Africa and Afghanistan. And then they found themselves in the semi-finals. And they finished second of the group because South Africa finished top of the group because they played all their games bar the game against Australia, which was a washout. So then Australia then had to play India. Now, India have refused to travel to Pakistan during the tournament because of the political relations there. Ever since the Mumbai attacks in 2008, they've never travelled to Pakistan. And so India are playing all their games, not in Pakistan, they're playing them in Dubai. Not anywhere else in the UAE, just in Dubai. And all the other teams that have been in Pakistan have been under a strict security bubble because of the safety protocols there. It became farcical, really, when Australia and South Africa travelled to the UAE in the off chance that New Zealand beat India. Therefore, it would have depended on who finished top of the group, who finished second of the group, and then what that game would have been. So Australia and South Africa travelled to Dubai, and then South Africa then went back to Pakistan after India beat New Zealand. Therefore, India finished top, Australia finished second. That's how it works. Australia lost the game last night, and what I enjoyed the most about it was that I went on Instagram half an hour after the toss, and Mitchell Stark was on Instagram with a right-on mower saying, loving the new toy. So he was right behind the boys.
What's that sting again, Charlie?
Just a little bit of humour.
Just as a clue, that is not Broden Kelly.
So look, the boys were upset. The boys were right behind. The boys had to stay at home. Had to force to stay at home. They were right behind the team. They were cheering them on. And in no way is what's happening in cricket a fucking joke. That's what's happening in the Champions Trophy.
Well, I thought Samuel pointed this out. A fan of the show during the week. I thought Albo had it right when he said he enjoyed Australia's win over England in the Champions League. Galatasaray away next.
I wish.
You know what I mean?
I wish.
As we've been discussing, if Australia wins that game against India, it's hilarious.
Yes.
And if they lose, we blame conditions and schedule. So we're fine. Everybody's off the hook. It's very clear that Stark, Hazelwood, and Cummins, each of them, are deeply injured and would love to be there.
Yeah.
That's
obvious.
And that Cummins' legacy is sullied.
Yeah.
And I mean, what a tournament. Gee, India would want to win it, particularly as they're playing the Skeletons or South Africa.
Yeah.
Now, if you can't get that done, that is
when you've been given every possible advantage.
Well, no, hang on. Did you hear the coach Gambier?
Yeah.
There's no advantage because the practice decks have been different to the centre wicket. So what advantage are you talking about? People are just cribbing, man.
Rohit Sharma said we're also not playing at home.
Yeah.
So that's a good point.
That's a good point.
Which is interesting because the tournament's in Pakistan, so no one's playing at home, including Pakistan, who played one of their games in Dubai. So
that's good to know. There's a lot of conversation coming out of India, sort of questioning, whether the integrity of all this. Mohammed Shami did say, no, I think it has been an advantage. I thought, he's my favourite player. And then I read a few articles about him a few years ago. I was like, oh, no, he's not.
Just a little bit of humour.
Who was that?
No, exactly. But I don't even think that's the biggest cricket story going on.
No, the biggest cricket story is Ricky Ponting playing in New Zealand Open in the Pro-Am before.
So this is golf news. Sorry,
we're talking golf now. Now, Ricky Ponting, we're getting images and videos of him driving a par 4 and then knocking in the eagle with the broomstick. So Ricky Ponting playing off 1 at the moment.
Yeah.
Formerly a scratch golfer, so 1. He's let himself slip. 50-year-old Ricky Ponting, I think he is. Might be. Anyway, whatever. And a lot of Americans confused about why it's being sort of broadcast on Sky Sports
They're
and around the
continually
world.
being fed a 50-year-old driving a par 4 like at a pro-am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like,
what's this? Yeah.
And they look at the numbers and they're confused by the numbers and why this is so interesting to people. And
it might be breaking into America better than the World Cup last year, though. But still, yeah,
that's right. It's doing more work.
That legacy
way,
of that World Cup, the MLC is just going to bang this year.
Totally.
Anyway, but yeah. So, can you explain for the and there'll be a lot of people listening to the show who are very kind of golf aficionado, but for those who aren't, this strikes like what Ponting's done here, apart from being fed to Americans, is it's a summit on masculinity, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a 50-year-old who's driven a par 4,
right,
which is excellent going.
Yeah.
But he's then utilised a broomstick putter, which has its own. And you could explain as a regular golfer, you could explain the sociological meaning behind a broomstick putter.
Yeah. So what we're talking about here is about purity. Okay. So you're looking at with the broomstick, it's not conventional. Adam Scott uses one. There's some other guys on the PGA too that use them as well, but Adam Scott...
It's kind of like the size of a broomstick, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And so Adam Scott won it with the Masters in 2013, I think it was.
It was.
And at that point, I think you could actually anchor the putter to your chest.
Of course.
You can actually put the top of the putter onto your sternum. And then you can sort of just move your body. So
it's a greater modicum of balance.
Yeah,
right?
so it keeps the stability of the club face, and so you're always striking it pure. That's not allowed anymore. But the broomstick is allowed. You just can't anchor it to your chest. Anyway, Ricky Ponting using that. But what we're looking at here is we're looking at a guy that's basically one of the greatest ever to play the game in a different sport, and also doing things that professional golfers do as well. So he's driven a par 4, that being about sort of in a 300-metre mark, something like that, maybe a little bit longer. And I know he's wowed Jordan Spieth before when he's played promos with Jordan Spieth.
Yes,
Ponting. So it's just another reason for us to be proud of Ricky Ponting.
So it seems to me that a lot of people are condemning Ponting's use of the broomstick, though.
Yeah, because so you look at
it's got this becomes a question of masculinity.
Yeah,
this reminds me of Malcolm Gladwell's. Podcast about Wilt Chamberlain in the NBA, utilizing what was called the granny shot for his free throws. His free throws were no good using the overhand normal technique.
Right.
But if he went underhanded, he lobbed it up like a 6-year-old would. Percentages up deluxe, productivity through the roof, economics.
Yeah,
exactly.
But it's a bit yuck.
All odds, exactly. NASDAQ, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Skyrocketing, Wall Street. And but he didn't want to use it because it looked yuck and feminine. So he went overhand and barely hit. Now, he had a 100-point game, Wilt, so he was okay.
Yeah.
But
no footage of that game.
But with Ponting, he's used the broomstick. So people are like, oh, my God, this is the guy that's giving me the most safety. His forearms,
that's right.
It's the hair on the forearms.
Yes.
It's everything. He's the most he was a very dominant batter. But now he's using a yuck method of putting.
Exactly.
Is it all? Is his brand done? Because I'm like, what my question to this is Is Ponting emasculated by the use of the broomstick, or has he hardened up anybody who now uses the broomstick? Is Adam Scott a big winner out of this? Do you know what I'm saying?
Adam Scott doesn't lose out of this. Put it like that.
Can you enjoy Ponting's forearms better with the use of the broomstick that way? Do the forearms pop just so?
Yeah, because in golf, there's a conversation around Scotty Scheffler, right? Current world number one, won a couple of majors recently. Just unbelievable season last year, right? But the swing is a bit off, and he does some funky footwork stuff.
Yeah.
It's not pure. You think purity.
He's not on plane.
You think Tiger Woods. You think your McIlroys. Your Fred Couples.
Yeah.
And Tiger Woods, for instance, with the putter stroke, he uses a Scotty Cameron, so the higher end putter club. But it's just a normal length stick, and he has a pure stroke and stuff. So that's a purity that we're seeking here. So
but it's always in contest, isn't it? What purity means, what it looks like, what's symmetrical, what isn't. You see this across a whole bunch of different sports as well.
Yeah, I mean, a good swing is on the eye, especially when they do it in
It's like it's something divine. Like it comes from somewhere other than, it's not like being invented by humans. Like it's angles, it's hinging.
Federer.
It's the exactly. You see that in tennis, but other people just look weird, when they're batting. Like like I don't know who are we looking at? Like people who do stuff differently or incorrectly, like Phil Husel's like that, or you know, Constas, the way Constas is going about it, if you will, you know. But if there's outcomes, you know, do the ends justify the means?
Well, the broomstick
is just yuck?
is so jarring. It's so jarring on a course,
and but there's a connotation of kind of an unfair advantage as well, isn't there? It's Dubai stuff.
I mean, a hint, a hint. Anyway, in that New Zealand Open, an Australian won the New Zealand Open, Pezza. Don't know if you know his story. Ryan Peake. So he was a former Rebels Motorcycle Club bikie.
Hell yeah.
In Australia. So he won the New Zealand Open just in this week just gone. And so he's going to qualify now for the British Open. That's the Open Championship, one of the four majors. I think it's in Royal Portrush this year, in the UK in July. So if he can gain a visa. So he had visa issues as well getting to New Zealand, obviously because of past indiscretion. So he spent like 5 years in jail for serious assault.
Okay.
So when he was 21, he and other members of the Rebels Motorcycle Club visited someone that had threatened their club. And as Peake said, I dropped him.
I bet he did.
So his story is amazing. So at one point he was playing, he got back into golf. He got in contact with his old coach. He helped him rehabilitate his life somewhat. But he was still doing time like during the week. So he at one point he was playing his club championship north of Perth, then sleeping in jail that night. And then he ran the idea of quitting the gang and returning to golf with past members of the Rebels, with current members of the Rebels. And they said, yeah, mate, go for it. So they were supportive. And then he said this after he won. He told ABC on Sunday, people make bad decisions, some worse than others. But it just goes to show that if you don't actually give up on someone, you need to support them, and you just don't know what is going to come from it.
100%.
It's life-changing.
That's
it's
good.
A great story.
Good on him.
So if he can sort out a visa, he's going to be playing in the Open this year, which is fucking pretty sick. So that old New Zealand Open between Ponting and Ryan Peake, good week for the Aussies.
Sounds like it.
Stuart MacGill's back in court. Sticking with cricket. He's facing trial over his alleged role in facilitating a large cocaine deal in Sydney, with his lawyers telling a jury that everything will hinge on evidence from his drug deal.
Oh, yeah. MacGill's been clear about what happened.
Yeah.
You just look up Lunch with Lee.
Yes.
Or go to our live shows 2 years ago.
Yeah. Go back to our live shows 2 years ago.
Well, the clip on Lunch with Lee, maybe we'll link to it, but it also has AI accompanied imagery, as in automatically created.
I just hope MacGill is okay, you know. I think he's just got messed up in some...
Well, it's like anyone, yeah, he's no good, and hope he comes good, you know. I saw he was playing over 50s for ACT.
That's right.
Yeah. And sending him down, and you look at like it's Zapruder style footage of him bowling, but you look at closely, you zoom it in, and the same shapes are there, and you know there's a safety to it. You admire it, and there's a lot. It puts a lot of work on it.
Yeah,
hell of a bowler,
hell of a fizz.
Yeah, fizz it more than anyone, I'd say. Toe to toe.
You would have seen Pezza 3 years yesterday since Warney passed away. I thought it was actually longer than that, if I'm honest, but it's just seeing his face again on socials and like all his mates like sharing stories, like fuck, it's sad.
Yeah, still level of disbelief.
Yeah,
really,
that's the right word. I think disbelief.
I saw something that I'd like not to say, so I won't.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm going to move on to football just quickly, Pezzo. I'm not sure if you saw this, but Crystal Palace striker Jean-Philippe Mateta was hospitalised by a reckless challenge from Millwall goalkeeper Liam Roberts during the Eagles' 3-1 win in the FA Cup 5th round. So I'm not sure if you've ever seen the Schumacher in goal for West Germany and France in the '82 World Cup.
But how could I forget?
It's one of the most fucked up things you've ever seen. So if you've not seen it before, just type in Schumacher West Germany France '82 World Cup, and basically the France striker goes through on goal, and the goalkeeper just cleans him out, completely concussed, no awareness of concussion and what that was in 1982 in that World Cup, of course, and it's fucking scary. Anyway, this what happened here was so. Mateta's like through on goal, and Liam Roberts is the goalkeeper for Millwall, just fucking fly kicks him to the head. Mateta's got 25 stitches in the head. Referee Michael Oliver only gave a straight red card after reviewing via VAR.
Head's gone. VAR head's gone. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been taken off the list of Premier League referees this weekend for how he handled that, Michael Oliver. And just on that, Arne Slot received a straight red card after the Merseyside derby after blowing up at Michael Oliver. Slot got a 2-game touchline ban and £70,000 fine for saying, if we don't win the league, I'll fucking blame you. Before shouting twice at the assistant referee, it's a fucking disgrace.
Well, I saw a meme or a graphic the other day of Jurgen Klopp in the sky, just speaking to Arne Slot, saying you're doing a great job, son. A great job. Just a takeoff of Shankly.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of questions that came out of it as well. Like, is Jurgen Klopp dead? Is he dead?
Yeah.
Anyway, look, staying with football and probably, and closer to home, he goes, Australia is the under-20s AFC champions. It's Asian Cup stuff. Okay, so
find some hope in the football.
I was going to say, like, beat Saudi Arabia in a shootout in Shenzhen, of course. We all would have tuned into that. Stephen Hall's a hero of as keeper. Fast as fuck haircut as well. Bit going on, and I like it. And you want that in a keeper. Obviously not to the point of Liam Roberts, but he's the hero. Australia beat Japan, Qatar, and China along the way. Sometimes coming back from a goal down, tactical flexibility, etc. Now, we could focus on that all we want.
Sure.
Right? And
if we wanted to, we
some
would.
people, and maybe we'll get some football people in one day to focus on matters like that. Your X's and O's, what it actually means. But doesn't mean anything more than the opportunity to say that a golden generation looms. That's all we really want when we're hearing about probably any sport, but probably none more so than football.
Yes.
Does a golden generation loom?
It's gout stuff.
In Australian men's football.
Yeah, that's right.
Right now. Like, what is this? They now go to the actual World Cup, which they haven't been to for 13 years or something.
Yeah.
And they're hoping to win one.
What does a golden generation of football look like for us right now?
It's just right now.
Like playoffs?
No,
knockout stage
you
of
can
World
only
Cup.
be. Look, okay, put it this way. I think once you've had a golden generation of any sport in Australia, the only way that sport can have another golden generation is if the latest golden generation usurps the previous golden generation.
Okay, so have to do something more.
I think so. Like the cricket team of the 2000s. Like, we've had a good generation here. It probably go down as excellent. They've got a couple of things they need to do.
Sure,
but unless and until they did more, they'll never be known as a golden generation.
Okay, got it.
You might say golden generation of quicks or something, but it's never going to, like, you have to usurp. So until this under-20s team usurps what Cahill, Kuehl, etc. did, then, Schwarzer, Aloisi, Bresciano, Chipperfield, etc. Then Zelko Kalic to a lesser extent.
Viduka.
Exactly. Then they're just, going to be professionals.
They played some games for Australia once.
But it's a good start. Australia, Saudi Arabia, Shenzhen.
Some speculation that Ronaldo will face 99 lashes under Iranian law for adultery. In this instance, touching a married woman after he posed for a photo where he was travelling with his Saudi team and took a photo with a disabled woman who paints with her feet.
Okay.
The Iranian embassy denied that was going to happen. But there's been some speculation that he might be done for adultery in Iran.
Well, he's always known how to erect a defence around that kind of stuff. Yeah. So I guess,
A couple of countries that probably can't do some pre-season tours too, but...
Yeah. Well, let's hope justice is served.
Let's talk to the Kick It Forward boys, shall we? Yeah, they are right now.
Well, second week of the circus, we had Albo last week.
Hang on.
Who better to bring on than the tour de force, really, of overall sports podcasting, comedic podcasting, footy podcasting. Recently moved to Melbourne from Perth. The Kick It Forward boys, Josh, Harry, Giorgio. Welcome to our humble studios.
Yeah, the freak show's arrived to the circus. Thanks, guys. Thanks
you guys came with the same amount of AFP as the Prime Minister.
Yeah. What a drop in form of just like, the Prime Minister of Australia, this fine land, and now these three fuckheads from Perth.
It smells like
Harry, you made the
farts
same. You made the same like joke as Albo did as well, which would have been written by his team.
Oh,
You would have
really?
been,
Oh,
well, I guess
God.
I do work in a circus.
Oh my God!
Are you guys calling me a clown or something?
Re-roll the tape.
No.
Start again.
Now, what are your thoughts on Chinese warships in the Tasman?
Yeah.
Oh God!
This is our area of expertise.
How good.
Let him
We've
in.
got a whole episode on this.
Good for industry.
Is that what Albo said?
The thing about war, guys, is it's great for industry.
Well, I was hearing on your show the other day, Giorgio, you said you can negotiate well if you got a gun.
Yeah, you get a lot of things. You get like McDonald's all-day breakfast if you have a gun.
Yeah, exactly.
Famously.
The lack of guns means guns have a lot of power here.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for having us, guys, by the way.
No, very, very welcome. Thank you for coming in. Blessing us with your presence from Perth. No, I mean, okay, I know. I've noticed in the comments of your last couple of shows, a lot of people are like, can you talk more about moving to Melbourne? But you've moved from Perth to Melbourne.
Like on this week's, it's like,
mainly me actually.
Oh, okay.
But can you encapsulate like at a spiritual level, and perhaps with a sporting overlay, what a move from Perth to Melbourne means?
Well, we can start with the weather.
Well,
Yeah, no, it made 40 minutes, actually.
Yeah.
The weather's fantastic, though, but it's been great here. I know, encapsulating, I think, like, there is a similarity in Perth and Melbourne. Like, someone once at the AO, or Australian Open, for those playing at home, said he was from Sydney. He said you could spit on the wall in Melbourne and people would pay to watch it. And I reckon, like, there's something in that with Perth too. Like like NBL, big bash. It's always like record crowds at Optus Stadium. I think like people love to get out and watch things here. It's probably there's just a bit more things to watch here.
And now us.
Yeah, now us.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably the easiest transition you could ever make. It's like it's not really building that much resilience. It's like Perth to a place that is pretty similar, but has daylight savings.
I saw that spitting on the wall exhibition.
Oh.
It was touching.
That's right, I was gambling on it.
It was a Chinese artist, wasn't it?
You snapped up the last couple tickets.
Yeah.
Just get that on pre-sale. Yeah. But like, can you also kind of give a summary to a lot of people who would be listening to the grade cricket and then come across to this weird shit that we're doing now about like what you guys are covering? Because as far as I look at you with a Sydney lens, right? So you guys have moved from Perth to Melbourne, so you're still in like a footy orbit to me. Even if people move, they're still within the safety and the bounds of where Aussie rules is played, right? But you guys do far more than that. It's sketches. You've got like non-sport stuff as well. Like where do you see yourselves?
I mean, we'll in terms of just sport, we'll cover all of it.
Yeah.
If only if something funny happens, though. So
Yes.
we're into NRL.
Yeah.
Vegas tick. We'll absolutely have a look at that.
Volandis, if you want to fly us next year like every fucking other person in the world, we'll do it. Otherwise, we're going to shred it.
NRL had Vegas, like AFL have a cyclone issue.
Yeah,
right? That's 1-0 Volandis.
It's funny too. Like they waited till the very last minute to cancel that because they're so worried about this is, NRL go to Vegas and then they're like, oh, while they're away, we'll like attack their zones. But then they're like, there's a reason we don't play there this time of year. There's fucking cyclones. We do hate lots of stuff. I think I had a sports journalism background originally. And the boys were like, we like sport a little bit. But we'd always really liked making comedy. So I think like originally when we were signed by Spotify before we were fired, it was built as a sports podcast because they needed to get that sport. There's lots of money in sport.
Sport vertical.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Ooh, vertical. That's a good word.
I'm not sure how to use
it's
it.
like they say we want to act in that space. So if you always want to act in spaces,
That's
you
right.
know you're in a business chat if people are talking about space.
Yeah, or play in that space.
Yeah.
Cheekily.
Ideation.
Yeah.
Yes. I've only heard that word in the last 6 months, and I've heard it
once you
times.
hear it, you can't unhear it.
Guys, can we blue sky this and move on?
Cheers. So and then we had that opportunity to make that, and it's kind of stuck a little bit. But I think like, and now our pod records go for 2 hours, and we have 10,000 sound effects. And we just make more segments constantly. And now the sports segment's about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And everything else like schemes and we try to mimic trends we see in social media clips as well. We have a segment called Clip That. It's basically just to piss people off. Yeah. The idea being it's an inside joke for listeners, but then everyone else tells us to shut the fuck up. But no, it's been really fun, and we're excited to be in Melbourne, especially like as you guys know, the hustle, the bustle of the big city.
It's amazing what you guys have, like, because I first came across you guys on TikTok, I think it was, and like it's amazing what that platform, like how quickly that has evolved. Because like coming up through television, which we all aspired to have, it was like the sketch show and Skid House, and now there's like an app which is 10 times better than those shows combined, and it's endless. And like like your guys' creativity, like the writing that goes behind it, the production, and like the software you can actually create these sketches is fucking amazing. It's actually like killed that idea of sketch. I guess SNL still exists.
I always think about this, and we always talk about this. there used to be a sketch show on every single channel, and they were all competing, and it was like the thing they needed to do. Like Sean MacGill was really, really early, and like that was the peak probably, and then it sort of got a bit fast foodie, and then every channel got one, like Comedy Inc, and then even Fox still had a couple. Right, there's still people wanting to make comedy, but now the only opportunity they get is on themselves putting on apps. So there's like every now and then you'll see a sketch show pop up on Prime, or last year there was one on 7, and it just doesn't land, I don't think, because there isn't the same freedom, because there's still some old fuckhead who's like, oh no, I think this is funny, whereas like there's so much freedom, and as you said, freedom with all the tools and stuff now. Like an iPhone does so much that a camera does now, like so easily, that you can just have so much fun with that. I don't know, like so many times we tried to go more complex with the cameras, and then it's actually taken away.
Yeah, I think people sometimes people see production and go, oh, hang on, that's not like organic or raw. We want some real shit. It's like too high
production.
Yeah, we want some real shit. Like my brother is a cinematographer.
Yeah.
And we've used his like expensive rig for some of our TikTok things, and it's cool. I think, but he even admits, he goes, oh, in a few years, iPhone will probably put me out of a job. Yeah. Like they're getting that good.
Yeah.
They're getting that good. And also, we see the difference in quality, but the audience doesn't necessarily care.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but it's funny, like the even that though, like I still look at us compared to other TikTokers and stuff, and I'm like, oh fuck, we haven't grown at all. Like we're still battlers, but I don't know, we just still love making it. I feel like we're finally at the stage now where we could like make anything, back it in, and if it fails, who cares? Like we have enough confidence where we're not going to I don't know, step in front of a tram now because we're in Melbourne.
You guys, you won an award last week, didn't you? Recently or something like that. Can you run us through this?
Who did we lose to?
Well, we did.
Sorry.
Well,
I'll let you explain.
We were nominated for an AIMCO award, so I
What is that?
It's like
we're not old.
It's like a
marketing, right?
Marketing influencers, content creation. What it is really mainly about is the agencies that are in that space. So, but there were a few content creators nominated for awards, like us. We did get pick one up in the comedy category. I said a few words. Just thanks the guys.
No one made a speech except Harry.
Yeah. And then because we were nominated for that award, won that award, we were nominated for the overall creator of the year at the AIMCO Awards, and then we lost to a cat.
Yes, that can happen.
And that can happen.
That can happen in this game.
Cats are popular on your phone. People love cat videos.
I wanted to be angry, but I've watched some of the clips.
They're good.
Pretty good.
The cat's cooking.
Oh, cats are unbelievable, man.
Yeah. That's actually pretty bad.
Animal stuff is unbelievable.
Cats are
I'm into parrots and...
oh, you like the parrots?
Parrots
bird stuff? Big bird
stuff?
stuff?
What are the ones that talk? That can like mimic what you're doing?
Macaws?
I'm obviously hugely into it. Yeah. But no, I mean, animals can dominate humans on TikTok and those platforms easily. If they're on song.
It's funny. G's massively into like beheadings and stuff, aren't you? Like,
I've been trying to wedge a beheading segment into the podcast for ages now.
These are my top 5 best decapitations.
Top 5 beheadings.
Coming in at number 5.
Yeah.
I reckon we go there. I reckon we could go there, Jeff.
Don't get beheaded yourself. That's a segment.
Oh, nice.
There's merch. Done.
So you're saying you don't like to be limited to one niche, of sport. I mean, I wouldn't know what that means, but
no. If anything, up the niches. We want thousands of niches. We've been looking into the day challenges this week of like every day I'm doing this, and they've become so niche that we were trying to think of the silliest. I'm going to do this till I die, basically. Challenges. Day one of trying to do this till I get that.
I think we landed on what might work for us. It's so dumb. Just day one of drinking a beer every day, but then the next day it doesn't increase or anything. You just have another beer.
Just have a beer, yeah.
Has anyone done
Is there
that
an
yet?
end goal to it, or?
Oh well, maybe to get a fully paid box at the MCG for like round one.
I think there was a bloke on the train that had a pretty good streak of that the other day.
What?
Having a drink every day.
Yeah, you don't realise he was grinding.
He has 500,000 TikTok followers.
He wakes up at 3:30, cold plunge beer.
That's right.
Because I know what's coming.
Yeah.
So because like fundamentally, like the writing is the comedy, right? Like individually, like also as a group, like you've all created like these great moments through your sketches and your podcast as well. But like, how much time do you actually commit to the writing of the comedy?
We're like always writing stuff down. Like I reckon like I probably annoy the guys a lot with like random badly texted thoughts. But that's like a good thing
Looking
to have.
for reactions as well, not receiving them.
Sometimes, yeah. There was a point where I went through a breakup and I had a lot of psychology-based, going to a psych-based humour. Yeah. And Harry and G looked at me one day and goes, I don't think many people would get that, Josh.
Josh is like, easy sketch, your girlfriend gets back with you. Well, I don't know, Josh.
No, hear me out. What if I beg?
And like he gets a threesome with his sister.
And I'm like, did anyone get beheaded?
That's right. Can we get a beheading?
I wish I wasn't. No, sorry. But we were always writing, but like honestly, the more time you put into it, the better. Like the funniest bit is like, I've read some. Brian Kelly like sent me this clip. It was about like writing or whatever, and it's like half the battle's just getting something down, and you never know what it ends up being. Like often we'll take things and 2 years later we'll write it. Like we did one with Mitch Marsh. That was an idea for Stoinis 2 years ago, where Mitch Marsh was the punchline. But we got offered Mitch Marsh for something, and we love Mitch Marsh because we're from WA and he's a legend. And then we're like, we could probably rework it. We accidentally told him, he goes, great to know I'm second choice. But
players love that.
Yeah, he loved it. But no, he was great.
Famously secure.
But you never know when it like
he still did it.
He did, and he was awesome. And he was like. He was so good. We can talk about it later, but I know for the writing thing, I think we work best working together, bringing idea together. But often it's like all of us have our own like seed ideas, and we'll bring it to the table, and then we'll sort of write it out.
I think when we started out, we weren't, or when you were, I don't know what you were doing, but sometimes we would just rock up and have an idea and film it. What happened to that?
No,
with that shit.
No, that's our podcast.
I think like I don't know. It's like the trying to make it better, I guess.
I think people are often surprised. Like before we film something, we'll have a full script with lines and directions and stuff.
Yeah. Not just three guys riffing. Like three guys sitting around the bar.
And I think that's like
sometimes they are dot points though. Like it'll be just be like, this is the vibe we want.
Yeah.
Like we did this one about because we've been to so many weddings because we were around that period. And we did a whole fake wedding for a day, which we'd love to do as like a series or something. Because I reckon there's like a series in it. And like the last one we did was Giorgio's idea being like, what was it, the arancini thing?
Point of view, you're a bowl of arancini at a wedding.
At a wedding, because people hunt arancini more than anyone.
Yeah.
And it just like, and I played a complete psycho, but like the part of it was, Americans don't know what arancini is. It's an Australian apparent term for or Italian thing, but that was just a dot points like psychos chasing arancini.
Yeah. What do they call it in America?
Rice balls or some shit. I don't know.
They're more of the crab cakes at weddings, I think.
Okay. I was going to say we could make heaps of money if they haven't heard about it.
Delete that bit.
What?
So speaking of beer drinking stuff, like we've been fascinated with
that's where I recognise you
from afar. the Schooner Scorer phenomenon. Obviously, wearing a hat today as well. Now I know you're the professional beer drinker, and so it was a meeting of minds when he came along. But so we've watched this guy from afar. I like our original thought was like, how does a guy of blue-blooded landed gentry come out to our shores and score our own beers, popularly? And yet he seems to just be an absolute phenomenon. Everybody loves him. He's just come and gone. You've seen this guy in the flesh, and obviously you're your own professional beer drinker. So what was that experience like? I don't mean to put you down or
really great question. It was like I was in a movie for a few days, hanging out with the Schooner Scorer, because yes, we have been watching him from afar for a couple of years now and seeing him grow, and he's like he's an icon. He does one thing and he does it very, very well.
Niche.
And then I suppose we did a parody of his stuff a few months or late last year.
Yeah, I came across him and I was like, this is the poshest guy ever.
Yeah.
Yes.
So how does it? Yeah, it was like, how does this
It shouldn't work.
Well, we just found it. I think my original thing was because I lived across the road from a pub in Perth, and I was like, let's just do this on again. This was one like we wrote it out, but it was pretty. But we just found it funny. His cameraman had a seizure, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that one did really well. Then he reached out to us and then said, I'm going to Melbourne will anyone be there? You know, it's like, I know one guy who fucking loves a beer that you might get along with, and it was like two best long lost brothers and met.
I just landed in Melbourne, the Disneyland of beers, as I say to Josh, and the Schooner Scorer.
That's not catching on.
I'm giving
It's
it a
the
go.
happiest place on earth.
I'm giving it a go. And the Schooner Scorer rolls into town, and I'm like, yeah, guys, because we're still working a bit like from between Melbourne and Perth. But, sometimes we'll do a Google Meet, write stuff together. Or
Harry's like justifying what he's been doing that day. He's like, I should probably help him out a bit.
Yeah, because he helped us out with some of our stuff, and then I was like, I'll help you out with some of your things. 2 or 3 days later, I said, Josh, I've had the best time ever. Sorry, mate, I haven't done much in the last few days.
And I'm like, why wonder what Harry's up to? And it's just like, there's just story after story of him in the distance behind Schooner Scorer at the next pub. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, well, I guess Harry's doing all right. But nah, he was nice, right?
He was such a nice guy. Yeah, he was.
He obviously
posh.
get, like if you guys made fun of him, he can own that joke, and then everybody likes it. So
I think he loves the parodies.
He was very posh, but that was compared to us. I feel like around his circles there would be some even posher people. And he was such a good guy. He was a good operator. I was on the camera for him doing the thing, and I was getting.
You did the camera.
So anyone can do it. I wondered if he had the one guy. He was like, I'm the Schooner Score's camera guy.
Yeah.
I know how to do it.
Yeah.
Fun fact, actually, I forgot to tell the guys this. I filmed the second most amount of Schooner Scorer videos.
Oh fuck!
Yeah,
Huge.
of all time.
Oh, so
I know you got a partner, don't you? So that's a shame.
Also, we have our own merch. You wear that hat fucking everywhere.
Yeah, because I don't know, get me a merch hat.
we make. Oh, yeah, it doesn't matter.
No,
so anyone can do it. He's not. That I thought that might be really tight IP for him. It's like, no, it must be my little friend Tom.
There's a tutorial before you do it.
Okay.
There's a filming tutorial.
Right. Can you give us the gist?
Scorsese stuff.
It is
have an epileptic fit.
It's energy, but it's fast, but it's smooth fast. So you can't go like jolt.
Oh, not jolty.
That's what you would do. That's what you guys would do.
I haven't gone through the tutorial.
And there was another key rule. You weren't allowed to.
That's a good video.
You weren't allowed to. What was it? Rotate. You were allowed to.
You can't hinge at the wrist.
You're allowed to do that. You're allowed to go around like that. But you couldn't tilt. You
can't tilt. Yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't tilt.
I mean, the style of camera work, though, your brother's a cinematographer. Like, it's so unique to him now, though, that, like, if he was ever filmed in any other mode, it would flip people out, though. Right?
Yeah, and he, there were some times when he's seen some of the footage, he's going, he goes, not like some of my early ones, that is. He goes, he's analysing it, and he goes, that's good news. That's good news. Like he'll accept it. He'll go because he doesn't do it twice.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
You won't take.
No, one take.
Samuel L. Jackson stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So he's not having multiple beers because he's absolutely down.
No, he's having a beer in a pub. Then we'll move on. And I might sneak a couple in while he's working.
Well, we noticed he went to a pub in Richmond in London called the Cricketers, and he had the local beer called the Triple C, which is a term that we had originated several years ago. So I always wanted to know if that beer was based on
it is a
this
coincidence.
term. Yeah,
a cricket pub called the Triple C, which they make
Century
in-house.
Circuit Chop. It's like the ultimate thing that any cricketer wants. And so it's a cricketer's pub. It's called the Triple C. It's a local beer, so it's not like franchised or anything.
So you guys coined the term, and then they made a beer after it?
Not sure if it's based on that, but it's a coincidence. And he was saying, I'm just checking out the Triple C. We're like, okay. Okay.
And so you're like, well, why isn't he paying homage?
Not like proprietary. We just wanted to know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't know. Did he go to the Cricketers Arms? Was it?
No, this is in London. So Richmond.
Sorry.
Of course, that's right.
Yeah.
The real
Same
Richmond.
names.
The real Richmond.
Sorry, one city at a time, please.
There is a Cricketers Arms around.
Yeah, it's Cricketers Arms everywhere, really.
Every Richmond in town. Yeah. Okay. We've been staying in touch, the Schooner Scorer and I, and we can't wait to cross paths one day. We're talking about an Oktoberfest collab.
Nice. Is he single?
Yes.
And so why is he here?
Because he's single.
Scoring schooners, mate.
Scoring schooners. He's growing his page. He's on.
But why is he? He's a single man, and he has every video. There are 3 of the hottest birds I've ever seen.
He's got 3 likes: beer, running, and then there's a third.
Yeah.
Which is also to do with travel.
So he's just chopping around the world.
What might explain
It's a better name.
Every city.
Explain those characters in his videos is, I mean, his audience is 98% male.
Sure,
So
same.
he's adding, yeah.
Tell about that. 98.
So why is he growing really fast and no, he's hoping to. I mean, I can't give it actually too much away about what his future plans are, but he was down here growing the channel on a bit of a break from his full-time job, which is actually still like in secrecy. His real name is in secrecy as well.
That's also.
I mean, it's pretty easy to Google.
Yeah, but it's his stick. He's the Schooner Scorer.
Charlie looked him up in like 3 seconds yesterday.
It's actually the first thing. What is Schooner Scorer's name? And it comes up AI.
Yeah.
Charlie's a bit of a hacker. You sort of
I connected him on LinkedIn.
Got into the mainframe there.
If he quits his full-time job, would he be like the first person ever to be like, "Oh, I'm quitting my job to drink beers full-time"?
There's kind of a long history of alcoholics, so yeah.
But to be paid.
Quitting job, being asked to leave.
You're drunk at work again. No, but Harry, like, he was actually taken a bit back by Harry because Harry has his own character he didn't really know about. And then, which is Harry Fitzgerald, professional beer drinker. But like, yeah, they really like meshed.
Yeah, we did these videos with this character Keith, and it was a complete piss take of. There's a couple of YouTube videos floating around of this rock climber, professional rock climber, that goes undercover at beginner rock climbing classes. They go for 2 hours. He pretends to be shit.
Awesome.
Everyone around him is not that amazed.
Everyone's like a 13-year-old boy, or they're fat or something. Like, and nothing wrong with that. But like, there's clearly the jacked, gigantic dude is the athlete
with calluses on his hand,
with a moustache over and like a mop.
Forearms the size of like barrels,
a chalk bag.
He's like, "Oh, you're a pro? Yeah, I'd pick that."
Whoa, what?
End of the video, when he does the reveal of who he actually is, he rips his wig off. And still, no one really cares. We've seen the NBA ones, like where people go to a lot.
Uncle Drew,
That's actually at least like maybe a character in mainstream sport. And I know there's a huge rock climbing community. Shout out to my brothers.
Yeah, of course.
Even though I don't do it. Shout out to all them to do that. It's awesome. But yeah, I thought, what if we just translate that gag into going into a pub in disguise?
Yep.
And one video, it didn't actually, the videos have never done amazingly well, but they've got great engagement. We find it funny, so we want to make more of them.
Yeah.
Just became a giant inside joke and people have to get around it.
And now like people walk up to Harry in the street and they're a very specific demographic, like 28 to 35-year-old white men. They're just like, "Excuse me, sir, are you professional beer drinker Harry Fitzgerald?" And it's the stupidest, funniest joke.
We've got a meet and greet actually for professional beer drinker Harry Fitzgerald on Thursday night at the Carlton Brew House. So
hell yeah! So we're recording this on Wednesday. What date is it today? 5th, 6th, 5th.
Will this be out?
That's what I was
It's out
thinking.
this afternoon.
Oh, okay, we'll wait then.
So people have a chance to meet and greet a professional beer drinker. We've given away we got free tickets for a couple hundred people, the first in, first served, and it's a after some negotiations, a free schooner on entry.
Wow. Yep. So speaking of ideation, so how does that idea come out? It's like, okay, we need to grow the brand of Harry Fitzgerald, professional beer drinker. Let's get in touch with Carlton United Breweries and let's ask them to give everyone a beer. And, Harry puts on a show of...
I can't remember if it was Harry or me, but we were like... I just found it so fucking hilarious that the shit is... I think it's hilarious, but like, it's the shit joke that keeps being perpetrated. What if you did a meet and greet? And then we reached out, we were like, "Oh, what pubs?" And then someone overheard us at work and we're like, "Oh, I've got a contact here." And then we just like, we went to the meeting and like art of the deal and sat across and we made sure we did it at the brew house. We're going to have beer. He's like, 2 pints? Like, obviously.
Yeah.
And then, and I don't know what it was. Like, normally we'd probably charge money, but we're making no money for whatsoever.
We've done heaps of that.
Yeah. It was just, I don't know. We just find it so funny perpetuating the shit joke.
This joke as well, because we've done 3 of the like video format undercover professional beer drinkers, and each time I write it,
we've done 4.
Oh yeah, 4 now. Yeah, 4 now. Each time I write it, it's I can pretty much copy and paste the script. Because it's the exact same
Perfect
format.
Yeah.
With a couple of tiny little different
But
jokes.
everybody's in on it.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. And the live meet and greet. Well, actually, we can't say much about that yet.
It's going to be the zenith, and then we're going to like kill the character.
Yes.
Hey, no. We've got big plans.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then you got Oktoberfest with the Schooner Scorer.
That's true.
Yeah.
Could I ask about? I know it's just a niche, but could I ask about footy? You know, Aussie rules, right? I feel like you guys are native to it, being from Perth and stuff. We're sort of making a gentle toe in the water with it, and doing other sports. I'm both from Sydney, moved to Melbourne. Follow it, right? But don't froth on it. We're trying to navigate the footy media. We've seen you guys do footy media stuff. It occurs to us there's a lot of very serious stuff out there, X's and O's. Everyone's got to strike a tone of concern and earnestness anytime they're talking about footy. Obviously, Harley Reid needs to be discussed. I don't know where you start with it, but if you just any kind of ideas about Harley, you are in the same stable with Clubby Sports as Sam McClure, who discusses A-graders, and with Mitch Cleary and that kind of thing. Like, how do we, from a comedic perspective, how do we traverse this area? Where do you guys sit in footy media? I've spoken to guys who do comedy, but when you talk about footy, it's very serious for them as well. So is it a point of... Do you draw the line there? Is footy just something that's super serious to you? Or
No, not all. But like, G, do you want to? I know someone said Harley Reid, so G's going to he's rock hard right now.
Pookie Bear.
Yeah. We did a shoot with Harley Reid the other week.
Yeah.
And he was legend, cool, and I don't know, whenever we deal with these guys who are 19, 20, and you remember how much of a piece of shit I was at that age.
Yeah, I know. I'm I hope he's a better bloke than I was at that age.
Yeah.
And he was.
No, not necessarily.
He's a better bloke than I am
was
now.
evil, but just smart.
No, I know.
Yeah. As far as the seriousness of the footy media thing.
Sorry.
No, he was just smart. No, he was great.
It is the most
Well, you're going to say that though, aren't you? You're not going to be like, he's a complete piece of shit.
No, but I'm glad I don't need to think about it because he was genuinely a good dude.
Yeah. Do you guys find it funny though? It's this sport that's collectively probably consumed by 15 million, 12 million people. But now there's 30 shows about couches.
Yeah.
Now with the 7 and Fox thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
They've actually both upped their number of couch sitting.
Yeah.
And shows are now analysing. Even Channel 9 had a footy classified, which has been gutted. Now Sam McClure's at the front.
Yeah.
And they were now we're setting the agenda. So there's actually three places where they're all sitting on extended benches or couches talking about the same league. I think it's just funny if anyone takes himself too seriously to have a parody. And we have ample examples.
Yeah.
And we went to the Channel 7 launch.
Yeah.
And they were like, do you want to come? And we're like, yeah, we respect a lot of people there. Bruce McVaney's there and stuff.
Of course, yeah. We work for them too.
But then we were just like, well, we're not paid to be here. We ask whatever we want. So we just kept asking them what they're all doing on Saturday now because they don't have the rights. And there's such a thing in comedy versus TV comedy where it's banter.
Yeah.
Where they're used to being the fun guy.
Yeah.
But they still can't piss off the chairman, Kerry Stokes.
Yep.
So we can piss off the
chairman. Or piss on if he wants. No, sorry. And it was quite funny watching them all dance around I actually still do Triple M and we'll be consuming so much footy or the Sandful or the Waffle because now Channel 7 don't have Saturday rights.
Yes.
They all just got really sheepish and stuff. I think you guys probably, you don't need any help from us, but lean into taking the piss out of the maybe hypocrisy from a lot of them.
I was just I've been trying to do some research and so I'll listen to SEN in the morning when I can get through the 75% of ads. And I find that at least half of the conversation is about the guys on air discussing who's fronting the other media shows.
Oh my God.
They start discussing the media shows like footy games. You know what I mean? So, mate, Ralphie's actually heading that up. That's a really good team as a captain. Who's going to be the skipper of that? You're like, what the fuck's going on?
You know what I don't get to is you always hear from guys I don't know, on the sounding board or stuff like that, People love to consume it though. Like the people are dying to hear more about it.
Froth on this shit,
I actually don't think they fucking do.
No.
Like,
The TV is just left on after the footy.
Channel 9's on after maths. Like they put footy classified after maths. The amount of people in Melbourne that were like, "What the fuck is this shit?"
That's bounce ratings because it's after.
Oh, no one say anything bad about bounce though.
No, it's bad.
No.
And I cannot wait.
Have you guys crossed bounce?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just like the structure of like, what do people do when they talk about sport? They like to sit on a couch or they like to have a beer.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're in a bar and they're just talking with their mates about the football.
Yeah.
And every
We just spoke about you drinking beer for like last 20 minutes.
And it's kind of funny, but also insightful.
It's insightful.
Right, but insightful if you think.
I got a couple of hot takes about the football over a beer with my mates.
Quick side idea.
But we know what we're talking about.
Just so I don't forget this, Josh, quick side idea. Can we do a parody panel show, but it's called In the Bin? And it's 5 of us in the bin, so welcome to In the Bin.
And if you've been that bad that you join us in the bin or something like that. I mean, like the Rick and Morty thing about like they had like Couch World where people were like couches were sentient and they were sitting on people. I don't want to copy that, but why can't there be couch show? Couches on couches on. Anyway,
that's good.
We'll have our own footy show called The Shays, and we all sit on like longer couches.
Yeah,
and it's
right.
even more relaxed.
Lazy boys, pillow talk.
Lazy boys.
I want them all.
Actually, that's good. That's ours. You can't take that.
Yeah.
Lazy boys.
It is weird though. I don't see the incentive. You have to be a full psychopath to be an AFL reporter. I think. Like even in the nice guys, like something in their head's a bit different because they just cop so much shit from everyone, even if they're doing a good job.
Yeah.
Like Sam McClure might win, or Tom Morris maybe, although there's another whole layer of that. But like to him, they might win Gong of the Year or whatever in their industry, but still 90% of the population like I would spit on you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there has to be
great
some
news
ego
hounds,
thing.
develop relationships, be first in the news, report it cleanly and articulately, but people just still want to spit on them.
Yeah, for this sport again, that is like I know, and you guys obviously have had the anger from Indian cricket fans. You know what it's like, but you know when you're at your local cafe in Richmond and someone probably wants to punch you in the back of the head,
yeah,
for doing your job.
Yes,
yeah.
I think don't be afraid to call people out because secretly they love it. The journos.
Don't be afraid to spit on people.
Actually, the funniest is Michael Warner, who he just does whatever he wants.
Yeah.
And like we had him on the pod and he's written that book Boys Club or whatever, and he kind of just like he's got to the point in his career he just writes whatever he wants at all times.
Yeah.
But it's always like backed with something. But he's sort of a lone wolf.
You get to that age where you're like, I can just say whatever the fuck I want. It doesn't really matter. You know
But I think it's because he hasn't taken the pay. He's not under the thumb of anyone.
Yeah. Well, Gideon Haig is probably the same vintage. He
Yes.
sat where you're sitting on our show once and said that the Indian crowd was like a Nuremberg rally. So that took a little bit of backpedaling from the show.
I think I came in here and met you guys for the first time ever when that had just happened.
Yeah.
And you guys were like kind of sweating, but like cold sweat because like you didn't quite understand. Because it was being picked up by Indian media at the time. It was like it was snowballing as we spoke.
No, partners were receiving death threats, so it was
yeah. Good times.
Yeah, I'm just saying, but that's the it's the power of being senior, you know.
Yeah,
Ola was retweeting stuff, but he actually lost his gig. So
Oh yeah.
Oh, Palestine Pete.
Crazy that thing. And then I heard the justification of it. I was like, what? Like the reason for firing him? Like what?
Yeah,
it's weird.
Yeah.
We got Josh Borstein on the pod this next
Oh
couple
yeah,
of weeks. Yeah, he's pretty good.
He's a mad dog. Isn't
He's pretty cool.
Yeah,
he's cool. Sorry, more like boring Steen. Beer Steen. That's better.
Do you genuinely have him on?
Josh I interviewed him a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah, he's good.
What are you discussing?
Well, we discussed about like I always find it. Oh, this is now like because this is the other shit I found interesting. I just found it funny because he's always covered sports media and sports, athletes, and probably might end up representing Peter Layla.
Yes.
That they've been fired for having an opinion on something that your employer doesn't necessarily agree with. I wouldn't be surprised if Layla ends up being represented by him.
I don't know if Pete's pursuing it.
I don't think he probably cares, but maybe delete this whole bit.
I reminded the time you guys went to the Big Bash game at Optus as crickets or grasshoppers.
It's still confusing. We're not sure. We're still not sure.
But you did get on TV.
We'll put a diagram here or something.
Yeah.
What was that about?
It's
pretty clear to me.
Well,
It was a mistake.
we just like dressing up for like we like we did it, and we were like, this is really basic. We were surprised no one had done it before.
Yeah.
I think, from a social business perspective, you said it brilliantly yesterday in a meeting. It's great getting on TV, but then you can just use it for your own socials to amplify yourself.
Because people like we found people on social media love to rip on the legacy media. So the amount of times G gets on a camera and just like speaks like a baby into it, and then
As soon as there's like a little TV channel logo in the corner, you can just guarantee it's going to get like 10 times the amount of views it normally would.
because it's this very serious platform like you were talking about before with like the stupidest thing ever. We we got invited to do the first ball at the BBL.
Oh, did you a celebrity delivery?
Right. Yeah. And they were like, what do you get? Don't like piss us off. Like, just tell us what you're going to come at. So I was like, I'll probably paint my face. And then we bought like industrial strength high,
like glow in the dark, orange paint.
Josh shaved his head
and shaved my head,
and his entire head was orange.
And it was terrifying.
Yeah.
And I rocked up, and they were like,
torso.
upper torso, and then Harry went as Keith.
See, your fans would fucking love that. Right?
That was it, hey. Like, it's like the pod fans or some of the social fans will love it. Fuck the people in the stadium.
Exactly.
Like the three people there before for the celebrity first ball. It's getting down for that.
But we're talking
in-jokes are good business, really. People will make fun of it, but like the people actually feel part of something. So we get sledged for in-jokes all the time.
Oh, really? Because it was funny when it got to 7 AFL picked up the first ball and I like ate shit. Because one of my friends is like, because he knows how bad I am at bowling. He goes, I was like, I hope I just ate shit because it'd be funny. And he goes, just run as fast as you possibly can and then try and bowl, and it's like the easiest way to fall over. And that's what I did. And we thought it was like funny, but then the score just lost by like a run. And it was really controversial end. Then they posted the glamour shots of us on their social media, the Scorchers. of him as Keith and then me as a bright red thumb.
And they're like, collab post?
Oh my God, we are getting roasted. And so are you. They're like, you post this fucking shit after that loss. And it's me with a ball like this. Oh my God. But that's like,
perfect.
Like our listeners found it funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, Scorchers fans and Channel 7 watchers didn't. Yeah. It was good fun though.
Yeah.
Well, gents, we know you got to move on. You got a big promo day, and obviously, Harry, you got to get ready for the meet and greet tomorrow evening.
Got to get changed
at CUB. Yeah. Thanks so much for coming in. Really appreciate it. All the best with everything you guys are doing, which is massive. Kick it forward. You got live shows coming up.
Yeah, tell us about the live shows.
Yeah.
Second half of this year, we're doing some live shows, bit of a national tour, but we've also got
every state, every city.
Not Darwin.
The big
not Darwin. But we're also doing a bingo night in London at the end of May, which will be cool.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I know you guys have a lot of British listeners, but if you've seen our stuff, we're doing a bingo night. It's really, really fun. We'd love to get some guys down there to potentially write the trip off on tax. But also meet a lot of great. We love the UK. Can we just ask quickly about the Ashes before we go?
Yeah.
We wanted your advice on some of our ideas there because we're trying to think of content ideas now.
Yeah.
And we were thinking...
You're way ahead of us.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't want to give too many away, but
Easy.
No, I'm not going to give away ours.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're notorious for steal stuff.
Well, we're fishing from them.
Oh, sorry.
I'm not going to give my official ideas, but not like
sorry.
some of them are just like idea in England.
Okay, cool.
But what do you think the best way would be to like bait Piers Morgan to actually reply to us?
Oh,
fantastic question, Josh.
We did get a reply from Piers once.
we got asked on during the Ashes.
But was she really?
Yeah.
Why'd you say no?
That's why we did. Yeah.
Is it because he would control it too much and it'd be annoying?
Yeah, you don't speak. Like, he just fucking yells at you. Really. Pete did it.
That'd be sick.
Pete did it.
I've
Pete
also
went
called him a piece of cunt several times. On this.
Yeah.
A piece of cunt.
Yeah, I don't know why I said that. But
I reckon you'd be a great shot.
Oh, because I
reckon you would.
I think that's our goal is like, because he's pretty much, he does so much for the UK as far as promoting cricket because he talks about it so much.
Yeah.
That MCC hissing it debacle as well. But like we're trying to brainstorm of ideas to purposely make him react and hate us.
I think that like this is archetypal or stereotypical, but like the more you present yourself as an ugly, uncouth, immoral Australian and permit the British to feel at least the like architects of civility, that's when you're going to start to get engagement, right? So like if you can allow Piers to look like he is a man of morality or whatever, and that you're just a very bad
Scum.
Australian, drongo Australian scum
beneath him,
despite bashing them and smashing them.
That's right.
Yeah.
So if he can think he can bring you on and like teach you boys a lesson in civility, then I think that's the best way to get yourself on. I don't know.
You got some engagement from Elon, didn't you? A couple months ago.
Yeah.
Holy shit! What a piece of like. Yeah. It's so funny the amount of people that like.
Speaking of pieces.
Things have changed recently.
Oh my god! Like it was so funny when that happened. The amount of blokes I've known for 30 years that messaged me, "You've made it, mate." And it's like, and then I realised his head of finance just steals people's content all the time and reshares. And like, you know what? It was great because like people saw it.
So what I didn't. What happened?
We did a LinkedIn video about like how people operate on LinkedIn, and then he retweeted it, but it was someone had illegally downloaded our video, like not illegally, like
got it, yeah,
whatever. Like they just downloaded it, ripped the video and uploaded it on Twitter, and then he shared it, retweeted it, and he retweets like 50,000 times a day.
Yeah,
but we got retweeted, and it was that video got 29 million views on Twitter.
Hell yeah,
and but like there was no
Zero
link back
transfer.
to us in any way.
Yeah,
but the funniest bit was, so many guys have known for so long that just are not in our space at all in their 30s were like, wow, you've done pretty well with that LinkedIn video. Bloody Elon liked it.
Some people finally recognised what we were doing.
Yeah.
Exactly. Close mates.
Dad texts me,
bros,
Elon, exclamation mark.
Yeah. Exactly.
I realize this guy's one of the biggest pricks in the world, but I mean, that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Those things are weird, I reckon, like when occasionally someone from that you wouldn't even be in that world like what you do.
Yeah. 20 years of hard work, figuring out like what really pops with a video, comedy, bringing the team together, moving interstate. You do a video and like someone goes like, "Hey, you're doing pretty well the old videos there, aren't you?" And it's all worth it.
Elon Musk went like that once.
Yeah. And that's when you get the text like, "You just make any fucking money from that shit?"
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's his full-time gig.
Well, 3 houses.
Pretty close to Elon sharing a professional beer drinker video, I reckon.
Yeah, nice.
He's all about that.
No.
And he'd be like, makes you think.
No, he'd be like, "This is the woke left trying to pull the fucking blanket over your eyes with this beer shit."
Love his
Don't get him
captions.
started.
Oh, sorry.
Don't get him easy.
Yeah. All right, boys. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much, guys.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for having us.
Thanks very much to Josh, Harry, Giorgio for giving us that time on a Wednesday morning here. I hope you enjoyed that chat. That was good fun.
Yeah.
The boys were good.
Sharp boys. When you listen to their show, it's fast and good.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Sharp boys.
Good. I also learnt today, Pezza, I mentioned Gout earlier in the show, but unfortunately, if you wanted to gamble on Gout and the stall gift, if you want to have a punt, you're actually not allowed to, because Victoria passed laws last year where you can't gamble on someone under the age of 19. And he's only just turned 17. So.
Oh, fuck, that's huge. We should have led with that.
Yeah.
We should have led with that.
Yeah, I know.
So, look, it's time for boys, actually.
Yeah.
Isn't it? This is, and fair few submissions, got to say.
Good.
Now,
we made some mistakes?
I don't. Look, you be the judge.
Okay.
You be the judge. Okay. Sammy wrote in, boys, actually. So we were talking about, what would be the ultimate achievement in sport last week.
Yes, we were.
Hypothesising.
Okay.
Boys, actually, harsh to overlook Betty Cuthbert winning the 100, 200 and 4x100 at Melbourne 56.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, it was only 3 decades before either of you were born, but my nan swears she was basically the Kathy Freeman of black and white TV. Though come to think of it, I'm not actually sure if my nan even owned a TV in 56. Not to diminish Kathy's achievements, her winning gold is in my top 3 Aussie sporting moments, but Betty was a genuine superstar. She was also a torchbearer at the opening ceremony in Sydney 2000. Look forward to your upcoming takes on the Winter Coast. Cheers, Sammy. No, to be fair to Sammy, we were saying, like, I mean, that is 100 metres gold at a home Olympics.
Yes.
With the 2 and the 4x1.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
It's not bad. I would just challenge that by just going to the archives and having a look at the race and seeing what the competition is. That's all I'm saying.
And who's involved.
Just who's involved. What are the other athletes involved there?
Exactly.
But that's still 1-2.
It wouldn't be Marty
4x1. Home Olympics.
Yeah.
Great track. We still see the Olympic rings on Batman Avenue around these parts.
Batman Avenue, yeah. Sammy, what's your response to that? Who was? Do you want to have a look at who was involved in that race? Whether it was truly a global event? But I mean, are we wiping any athletic achievement?
No,
owing to.
I'm just saying. I'd like to know who was involved.
I just want to see who's the start line.
Couldn't she run, Betty Cuthbert?
Oh, mate, run like the wind. William says, "Mornings, boys. At the start of the new pod, you mentioned whether or not the Premier League is the weakest it's ever been. As a West Ham fan, I was very much looking forward to the erection I would have got if my two internet dads mentioned Jared Bowen's name and how he won Liverpool the title with his goal against Arsenal. However, I enjoyed the pod, even though I have no idea what AFL or NRL is. Any chance of covering virtual dog racing at all? It's extremely fun to have a punt on. Cheers, Will."
Yeah, go the 6.
Yeah.
Okay, last week the show went for a week and a half, so we did have to cut some parts that we're going to speak about. But yeah, there's been some talk about the Premier League being the weakest ever because Liverpool have essentially already won the league. They're 13 points clear. They've already played a game more. I think actually by the time Arsenal play their next game, Liverpool would have already played bottom of the league at home, Southampton, so that actually will be 16 points in front by having played 2 more. Anyway, the point being that it seems like the bottom 3, which are the teams that came up last year, didn't go straight back down. Liverpool seem to have already just about won the league. And so the interest is essentially there's like from 10th to 2nd can all make Champions League football. It's going to be 5 Champions League spots in England this year, I think. So is it the worst ever? Is it boring, I guess is what we're saying. There's a lack of interest. There's no title race, no relegation saving storylines. It's all just fighting for middle stuff.
Did you enjoy that, William? Higo said that without blinking, and I follow Manchester United, and I just think football's gone to the dogs. Really, I think it's a capitalist dystopia, and I think it's a disgrace. Yeah, it's just a shame what's happened to the game. Doug says, "Hey there, boys. Long-time listener, first-time communicator. I noticed in the lead-up to the first episode of The Circus, you referred to winter sport as the footies, AFL, NRL, A-League and W League. But I noticed you boys didn't bring up the actual issue of winter sport, snow sports, your skiing, snowboarding and whatnot." Fully understand the premise of covering snow sports in Australia is an interesting one, as majority of major competitions heels. The Northern Hemisphere winter, or the Australian summer, if you will. But I think to leave this out of the discussion of the circus would be doing a disservice to our Aussies overseas competing at the highest level they can. In just the last week, there have been numerous efforts resulting in World Cup level podiums from our athletes, as you'd expect.
Yes, that's right.
I don't know what they are. From Josie Baff and Cam Bolton winning the team event at the Snowboard Cross World Cup in Turkey, to Matt Graham claiming his 27th career podium in mogul skiing.
Yeah.
Right?
He was at the Centre of Excellence at Thredbo.
The kit there would be unbelievable. You know, we talk about getting like CIS kit or Australian AIS kit back in, say, 96, S tier stuff. But AIS kit, winter sports version, your jumpsuits, etc. That must be unbelievable. Pajamas would be out of control. Not to be a coat, but I think these efforts deserve a mention if the circus is going to cover winter sport. Anyway, I'll fuck off now, Doug Crawford. No, fair call, Doug.
I saw a bloke on Chapel Street yesterday wearing a balaclava, but the holes were at the back of his head. I'm not even joking. I saw that.
Yeah, no, I'm sure you did. Stay tuned, Milan. Stay tuned. Vis-a-vis morning after prayer, but stay tuned.
Also, the A-League is a summer sport.
Is it? Charlie will hate that.
Charlie? Summer sport, isn't it?
Well, it is played in summer.
Yeah.
Thanks, Charlie.
Good.
Will says, boys, was pondering the cricket score on Friday night and search Aus v Afghan. Welcomed by the news, we received $45 to Afghani to 1 AUD. Sorry, 45 to Afghani to 1 AUD on the old exchange rate. Cheers, Google.
Perfect.
Aus v Afghan, bang.
Good time to travel.
That's a little good one for the water cooler or whatnot. You don't say Afghan. Afghani's the currency. Speaking about Afghans, you just
Afghans,
say Afghan. Yeah. If you want to be snobby. Craig says, hey boys, not exactly boys actually, but information exchange. Following on doping chat, this week a well-ranked pro triathlete tested positive to a banned substance that she claims was passed on to her after, quote, engaging in intimate relations with her partner the day of and day before she was tested.
Yeah.
Funny way of flexing that you, what he said is alleged is not true. Her statement below. So I didn't include the statement, but Imogen Simmons was provisionally suspended for doping. And you're just seeing articles saying sex at the root of dirty test result. So she's essentially said that Ligandrol, she's found out after the test has come through that her partner had been ingesting Ligandrol to help improve his own physical physique around the time of the positive test. They've exchanged fluids, so essentially saying she's chopping and that's how it happens.
It's secreted.
I also found out my partner was taking performance-enhancing drugs. But
the sex was amazing.
Whatever. It can be whatever it needs to be, but sex at the root of dirty test results.
It's a good headline.
I
also enjoyed news this week that it emerged that the AFL didn't drug test for 4 months during the off-season for a couple of years. and the banner photo was a Sharon with the fucking about a metre long line of cocaine.
Big old slug. I got to say, we heard from more than one source from Lamario's. Last week.
Yeah.
Multiple sources.
Yeah. People
All to say that they can't comment on the bags chat.
They were there.
That's it. In full kit.
Yeah.
So say that it is the bags that will bring the codes together.
Yes.
Now, this is a Boys Actually. I know we're going to finish up soon. This is from Max, who titled his Boys Actually, Sackville versus Three Weeds. Boys Actually, I think you'll find Paul Kent's drinking hole of choice was actually the Three Weeds Hotel in Rozelle and not the Sackville. Across the road from the Sacky is a kebab shop, which might have actually helped Kent if he swung towards it. The Three Weeds also now has a trendy Totties restaurant inside it. It's Justin Hem's attempt at letting battlers from a flight path district feel like they're in the eastern suburbs without having to pay road tolls. You'd half expect the tree across the road was on payroll for security, given Maryvale's heavy-handed history on that front. Love the new pod, albeit please keep politics out of sport or you'll get the Lawler treatment. Josh Layla McKinnon. Cheers, Max. Now, I'm sorry, Max. I'm not saying shoot for the king, but Max ended up having to retract that.
Right.
Because I just send him first-hand information
Just from
and
the article.
primary source stuff saying, no, sorry, Max, it actually happened from the Sackville, sorry. Don't Boys Actually, that's just a vocal tick I've got. Max helpfully and willingly retracted his Boys Actually. But I'm saying if you come for Boys Actually, you proactively say you've made a mistake and you've made a mistake, that's a retraction at minimum.
Yeah.
The phenomenon being that people who do that don't actually retract usually because they're I must always be right.
Nothing short of a grovelling apology.
Yeah. I got a really funny story about that, but that I will be rude to tell. But that is the Boys Actually. So he goes, get it in. Get all your Boys Actuallys in. Shout out to West Coast Eagles who are promoting their gourmet stuff at Optus Stadium by saying grab your mates and enjoy gourmet cock.
Yes.
But happy rugby league, as Roy and SG would say.
The Kings.
Happy AFL, happy Aussie rules, happy every league.
Well, happy shoulder content as well, Pezza. Looks, the Sunday footy feast looms large. Pez and Egos all of a sudden finding a spot, I wouldn't say headlining.
Well, as we've always said, we've wanted to join Seven's AFL revolution.
And we will be
Seven's
on there
footy revolution.
in 2 Sundays' time. Now, what we're asking for there, we're asking for your sporting clips. Doesn't need to be local footy. Could be touch footy. Could be cricket at the moment. You could be in your local tennis comp. You could be walking the dog. You could be going down the park with your mates. Could be backyard stuff. Could be swimming pool gear.
Think amateur hour. Think amateur hour. Yeah, a 5-minute segment called Amateur Hour.
Send in your clips via boysactually@gmail.com. It's probably the best place for it. Or you know what? Social media is actually easier. You can send it to... Follow us on The Circus. You know what? That's actually the best place. If you can follow us on The Circus, it's The Circus Pod. Is us on Instagram. We don't have Twitter. We don't have Facebook because those platforms are dead for now. I'll come back. It's The Circus Pod. Do us a favour and just follow us there, Hope you've enjoyed the show this week. A bit shorter, but enjoy the Kick It Forward lads coming in.
Get your Speakpipes in. Get your Boys Actually in. Like, rate, subscribe if that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
It helps.
It's a fun show. I've enjoyed this. It's a fun time.
We were number 1 in news on Apple.
Yeah.
I don't know why we're in that category, but...
Well, we're news breaking.
I guess so. Albo.
Have a great weekend. Hope your team does a thing that you want it to do. See you next week here on The Circus. Cheers.
Just a little bit of humour.